Welcome to HB RV Lifestyle, the podcast. I am the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as other things. And today I'm going to react to this FrameFlex video by All About RVs. And we're going to play the video while I react. So let's have some fun.
How's it going? I'm Jared Gillis. Today I'm going to be answering the questions that I've been getting about FrameFlex on RVs and really the problem that's kind of exploded into. And I have some strong opinions on this topic. Some opinions that I think would be good for RV manufacturers to address, and then also opinions and thoughts of what I think we can do as RV owners as...
Hold on. RV owners action / responsibility. I'm sorry, that's hard to read because I have the captions on. So everybody can follow along, because I know the sound quality isn't that great. Okay. Keep
somewhat
going.
of a fix. I even called some RV
Wait.
manufacturers.
Wait. I have a fix. Even called some... Okay.
Because I wanted to see what their response was to this FrameFlex issue, and I was pretty surprised on a couple of accounts of things that I heard. But I think that you'll see that there is a balanced approach that you can take to this. So, to start off, we need...
Whoa, what do you mean a balanced approach? If you're having frame failure or frame flex or whatever you want to call it, how are we supposed to take a balanced approach? See, it's a great hook. I've never seen this guy before. You guys sent me this video. I never even heard of this guy prior, and he's a good YouTuber, got a great hook. I like the editing, looks fabulous, but what does he mean by balanced approach? Because, you know, if you're someone going through frame failure or frame flex, I don't think you're going to feel like there needs to be a balanced approach. I think you're going to want the bloody thing fixed. So let's see what else we got here.
It's a good definition because all frames do flex, and that's not necessarily...
And pardon my nose.
It has multiple different names that are out there, failure, flex, whatever.
By the way, I'm sorry, my allergies are worse. This is worse than when I had my cold just a week ago. I mean, the wind kicked up and the pollen in the air, good lord.
Whatever it is, tomato. Let's get a good definition in 30 seconds of what FrameFlex is and where the problem lies. FrameFlex is the front portion of the fifth wheel, usually where you go from the chassis to the upper deck to the hitch, and there's usually compounding problems. The compounding problems create additional stress in this area that leads to broken welds, causing this front hitch to move somewhat independently from the rest of the RV, creating more flex and movement than should be there and is safe to be able to tow with. At that point, these broken structural elements need to be repaired immediately. The simple version is broken structure.
Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, that's an oversimplification, but I mean, he's trying to do it in 30 seconds or less, so not bad. Okay. Let's see what else we got.
Okay, now, good news and bad news here. Who is this typically affecting? So you'll usually see more FrameFlex on the much larger fifth wheels, the 40-foot and plus, maybe the toy haulers, the much larger, heavier fifth wheels that are out there.
Okay, stop right there. First off, there are fifth wheels out there that I have gotten emailed that are only 35 feet, the same length of his reflection. So he's a little off on this. Again, an oversimplification. So it's not the 40 plus feet. It's what we call high profile fifth wheels. They're heavier, they're taller. The mid profiles like the Flagstaffs, Rockwoods, Cougars, Reflections, etc. are not having this problem on that scale, even if they're 40 foot. Because, well, I'm not sure why yet, but I just know through my homework and what you guys have sent me over the last 8 weeks, these type of mid-profile, shorter cab area fifth wheels are not having the problem. So that's either an oversimplification or, you know, he's trying to dodge something. I'm pretty sure it's the oversimplification.
A little bit more susceptible to this. And it's definitely not the majority of them, it's a smaller number of it, but this is obviously an issue that has come up, and multiple people have had the issue, and it's not with just one manufacturer. I know Grand Design's kind of taken the brunt of this conversation. but it happens across the board to a lot of the manufacturers that are out there. You type in one of the main manufacturers, you put in FrameFlex, and you're going to find that people have had issues with this in the past. And
Whoa. 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 Go back. What did he say?
Up, and multiple people have had the issue, and it's not with just one manufacturer. I know Grand Design's kind of taken the brunt of this conversation, but it happens across the board to a lot of the manufacturers that are out there. You type in one of the main manufacturers, you put in FrameFlex, and you're going to find that people have had issues with this in the past. And I have zero affiliation with Grand Design or with Lippert. I haven't worked with them on any projects or anything like that. We do own a Grand Design, but we bought it ourselves through a dealership. Now,
okay, hold on. This is really, the optics of this are really bad. Okay, first off, you own a Grand Design fifth wheel. Nobody buys a RV directly through a major manufacturer. They're all either sold through a dealership or a private party. So why did you even bring that up? So you own a Grand Design, and yet you're... Well, let's look at this. Hold on one second. We're going to do this. FrameFlex Montana fifth wheels.
Getting that from YouTube.
Getting that from YouTube. Okay. Let's see. FrameFlex. That looks like Big Truck, Big RV. That's not about FrameFlex. Ooh, there's his video. FrameFlex, we have, okay, that is a Montana, so that's one Montana. I recognize it by the, yeah, I'll just say I've sold enough of them, I recognize it. Whoops. Okay, let's see. Gotta get the camera steady, sorry about that. Okay, that's mine. That is a Momentum, because that's Enjoy the Life Journey.life, so that's Tom. Who's this? Real quick. Let's see what you got. That is a Grand Design. I can tell by the interior. I could be wrong, but that looks like an... Okay, let's see.
There.
Let's see what this is.
And then over in this side in here, there's another one on the inside weld, and then in the same spot on the other side.
Okay.
But we weren't finding any kind of damage that would cause...
Okay, let's see what that is.
What I saw when John was leaving, that caused the...
I can't tell what that is yet. Huh. That looks like it's a Grand Design, but that also could be a Van Lay. Okay. Grand Design Solitude, Grand Design Momentum, overall FrameFlex. Okay, there's a second Montana. That was from 5 years ago. Oh, there's another. So wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm hearing this right. I mean, I'm going through this real quick. These are all Grand Designs. Okay, there we go. Major problem with Keystone. That's from a year ago. So there's two. Oh, that's an underbelly issue. Okay. That's a Van Lay. That's me. Okay. Look at this. I mean, this is the majority. So let's make sure everybody sees at the top. It says FrameFlex Montana fifth wheels. And the majority of what came up were Grand Design products when you put that in. So let's try a different one. Let's go FrameFlex Jayco fifth wheels.
Getting that from YouTube.
Okay.
What's going on, guys?
So it looks like a lot of the same stuff. Grand Design, me. All RVs junk problems with our Grand Design RV. Okay. Grand Design. Grand Design. Research. Ooh, what's this? Okay, that's a mobile suites. Now that I recognize.
What's going on, guys? It is incredibly windy.
Big Truck, Big RV. Josh. FrameFlex on. Ooh, that's Grand Design. We're not sure who that is yet. Grand Design. Okay, there's a Heartland. So hold on. So one Heartland. So here's the thing. Okay? And this is where I'm a little like this is not a good look for the gentleman doing this, okay? Because here's the reason why. You made a claim. This guy just made a claim.
Today,
Okay, so let's go.
Really simple
Let's go back to his
items for
channel
making
and go
an
back to the video. Okay.
Now, a common
So let's go
denominator with a lot
back
of these,
and let's double check what we heard.
and it's not with just one manufacturer. I know Grand Design's kind of taken the brunt of this conversation, but it happens across the board to a lot of the manufacturers that are out there. You type in one of the main manufacturers, you put in FrameFlex, and you're going to find that people have had issues with this in the past.
Okay, the optics of this are really, really bad. Whether he meant to do it or not, the optics, how this looks, is horrible. So I just went through two of the most major manufacturers of fifth wheels, and the majority of everything that popped up within the first 10, 12 videos, the majority are Grand Design Momentums and Grand Design Solitudes. So my question is, why did he say this? Okay, and then on top of that, watch the second part.
And I have zero affiliation with Grand Design or with Lippert. I haven't worked with them on any projects or anything like that.
So why did you bring up Grand Design and Lippert after you make that comment? So you made a statement that, again, I didn't dive that deep into it, but if I dive deep enough, because of the research that I've done, because of all of you reaching out to me, we have found out of the hundreds, almost 1,000 people that have reached out to me with frame failure problems, that close to 80% of the people that have reached out to me allege that the Grand Design Solitude and Grand Design Momentum fifth wheels are the majority of the frame problems. And then you got scattered other stuff, Montana, North Point. So he's partially right, but the optics of this are really bad. Like, what are you trying to say? Is it because you like Grand Design on a personal level? Have you had a good, maybe he's had a good experience in trying to give them some positive review or trying to deflect on his own? I mean, it just looks really bad. I'm not saying it's what he's doing, but the way he's approached the first 2 minutes of this video, it feels like a puff piece that's pro Grand Design. Okay, so let's see the rest of this and see how it looks.
We do own a Grand Design, but we bought it ourselves through a dealership. Now, a common...
Again, why did you have to say that? You don't have to say that. I will say that almost 8 out of 10 people know that you have to buy it used or new from a dealership or private party if it's used. So why would you say that? That's why I don't think he understands. Hey, look, I'm going to give him a lot of credit. I love his editing style. I'm a little jealous of his editing and his hook. Obviously, he's a lot better YouTuber than I am, and that is 100% on target. But it just, man, I mean, this is the same thing I've been saying. Like, why are these guys not doing more investigation? Because if he has received the same emails I have and the same communications I have, he would be a little more like, hey, this is a this is predominantly with Grand Design Solitude and Momentum, as well as sprinkled out other brands. That is a more accurate statement than saying, well, Grand Design's getting the brunt of it, but you know, if you put in FrameFlex and other manufacturers, it'll pop up other people or other brands. Well, I just did that real quickly, and the top 15 to 20 videos on that search, there isn't that many. On the Montana side, it was one Montana, a Van Lay, a DRV, like sprinkled. The super majority of the videos that pop up are about Grand Design Solitude and Grand Design Momentum. So that's just my thought process. It doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. It's just the optics of it. and I'll let you guys decide what you think, okay?
Denominator with a lot of these RVs that have the same problem is a Lippert frame. And so one area that I would point you to is Big Truck, Big RV, JD. He did a phenomenal job going there and giving us a peek behind the curtain, giving you the manufacturing process, talking to the engineers, seeing
Okay.
where the steel came from. Definitely, I'm going to put a link down in the description to be able to check that out, because if you want to dive into this more, it's definitely a place that I...
Okay. Let me just say this. Again, I don't know if he knows the optics of this, okay? So in my research that I've done, okay, eTrailer.com sponsors JD at Big Truck, Big RV. That's his main sponsorship. But like today, I ordered Lippert parts from eTrailer.com. So even though it may be on the up and up, the optics of all of this is... I mean, this is not... I understand now why a lot of you guys said you wanted me to watch this video, because I look at it from a whole different perspective.
would start. A lot of respect for him for what he did. And some of that information...
I don't have a lot of respect for what JD did, because JD is indirectly involved with Lippert through eTrailer.com. So, you know, it's, again, a puff piece. Here we go, another puff piece.
Gave me the idea for what I'm going to do for the fix for our RV to kind of minimize the risk of having it happen to us. So I think we have the precursor of moving towards that direction. I'd rather old Barney Fife it and nip it in the bud. I had an aha moment when I was watching the Big Truck, Big RV videos at Lippert, and they were talking about this area. And so this area is really crucial. You have to look at the structure as an overall superstructure. So you have the chassis from Lippert, and then you have the rest of the structure coming from Grand Design, and how that attaches to the chassis is of extreme importance from what I understand. And the engineers from Lippert will send over recommendations to the RV manufacturer on how their structure needs to connect to the chassis of the RV. And that part confused me a little bit, because in my building in the past when I was a general contractor, if you had something from an engineer, you had that blue stamp on there, there was no deviating away from how that was engineered and how that structure needed to be put together. If I wanted to change something, I had to go back to the engineer, have them change it if I had a recommendation or something that I wanted to change in there. They needed to make sure that it fit their calculations, fit inside their engineering. They would, again, blue stamp it again, and then I could take that to the city, and then I could build it. So there was a lot of steps. I could not deviate from where the engineer said how this needs to work together. And from what I heard,
pardon me, I might cough,
is that the superstructure needs to tie together. This area does gain strength from the wall being attached to the chassis. And that's where I think we need to watch out for the precursors before we have the overall frame flex issue. If you can catch it in the beginning, it's much better than trying to catch it in the end when more things have fatigued and more things have...
Okay, let's put that on pause. First off, that is the best thing that he has said this entire video so far. So set aside the bad optics at the beginning, okay? Set that aside. I think what most of these guys, because I could tell this guy's not affiliated with like a dealership or a sales, and I don't even think he's affiliated with a service department. But what he makes common sense, but here's what he's got backwards, okay? And it's just a misunderstanding of things. Anybody, it doesn't matter if it's Grand Design, Forest River, Heartland, Jayco, etc. They send Lippert what they want to do. And Lippert builds their chassis individualized for every brand. They're not the same chassis going down the line. They are spec'd out according to what the RV manufacturer wants to accomplish with their floor plan and their build. Okay, but here's the interesting part, and this is the frustrating part, is the majority, the super majority of the other brands outside of Grand Design, because I can't speak on what they do, but you go to Forest River, you go to Keystone, you go to Jayco, Heartland, etc. They don't make major big changes every year. They make them every 3 to 5 years because anytime, just like he was talking about, this was great. Anytime that a sales manager or a plant manager at Forest River, Coachman, Jayco, etc. wants to make a change, it has to go through engineering. Engineering then has to respec it out with Lippert, and the cost for the chassis and the cost for the build goes up. Lippert charges those manufacturers more money every time they make a change, so the engineering has to clear it. Just like he was talking about, if he's a general contractor, if he wants to make a change, he has to get it green lighted through the engineer. That was fabulous. That's probably one of the best things a YouTuber has said. So I appreciate that. I really do. That's actually really good. Let's keep going.
So this is the section that we're talking about that is really critical. We have the wall attaching to the frame, and in this section right here, we have lag bolts, and I can take and actually twist this lag bolt just with my hand. It's definitely loose. And this is an area that we had a problem with before, and I tightened these down, and they kept coming out. I ended up putting a plate down below, really cheesy plate, but it stopped this wall from moving and these from backing.
Yes,
out.
I'm drinking
you can
something.
See that
Sue me.
these aren't doing anything. So I did call Grand Design and get a fix for these. And the recommendation was for me to replace the 3/8 lag bolt with a 1/2 inch lag bolt, the pair of them. But
whoa, what the fuck? Whoa. Go back.
A plate down below, really cheesy plate, but it stopped this wall from moving and these from backing out. But you can obviously see that these aren't doing anything. So I did call Grand Design and get a fix for these. And their recommendation was for me to replace the 3/8 lag bolt with a 1/2 inch lag bolt, the pair of them. But I wanted to...
So wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm hearing this right. You called Grand Design. Grand Design says to increase the size of the lag bolts from 3/8 to 1/2 inch. Well, why in the fuck didn't Grand Design do that at the factory? What would it cost them? 30 extra cents per? Oh my God.
Dig into here and see if there's something more that I could do, more than just the 2 lag bolts. So I wanted to rip off the carpet. My wife was really wanting me to start on that, and tear off the plywood and see what I can find out behind it. A little destructive, but I think it might be worth it. That is exactly what I was looking to find. There's 2 holes, 2 lags being held in there, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes where lags could go in there.
Are you fucking kidding me?
They have wood backing in there so that they would bite. Guess we'll find out. So I first needed to get the holes drilled through for the OSB, and then I also needed to enlarge the holes going through the steel for Grand Design's recommendation to the 1/2 inch size lag bolt.
Whoa. Oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me? So there's 7 possible places, which he just said, who knows if it has the wood backing or not. Wait. So Grand Design leaves 5 empty spaces where they could put bigger, stronger lag bolts, but they didn't. So instead of spending an extra, let's call it $15 retail on each side to put 5 additional lag bolts, you only put 2 instead of 7, and you put 3/8 instead of 1/2 inch like they recommended to this guy. Wow.
It really needed to make sure
that I
measured very carefully because I added a piece of wood here, and so I wanted to have the proper length lag because you can see that wood-filled framing really is not that deep at all.
Yeah,
so
no
you
shit.
Don't have much of a window to
Holy cow.
have a decent size bite into the wood and also not stripping it out. So because of that, I also wanted to make sure I wasn't just kind of biting into it and pulling the wall over, so I clamped the wall tight to the chassis. I even used these 2x4s and 2x6s so that I can make sure that the wall was as tight as I could against the chassis. Because once you start tightening these lags down, if you start to strip them out, you don't have much of a chance of it holding much, if anything. And so having two of those in there, if they were over tightened, they wouldn't be doing much. You hit a pothole and it's game over at that point.
Right.
So the 5 of these and being really careful not to strip it out, I think is going to make a difference. Now, while it was nice to tear it all apart and see the holes that were missing lag bolts to be able to put them in there, it doesn't have to be this destructive. On the other side, I could put screws to find those holes and then put lag bolts into those holes without having to tear everything apart.
Right.
I also wanted to put that plate back underneath. On the one side, I'm going to use rivets because I want to see how they do and how they hold up. And the other side, I'm going to put screws. Because if I use this on other areas of the RV, the rivets are a very low profile that might come in handy.
Okay. So great DIY project. I think in reality, if you went and bought, let's say a 10-year-old, 8 to 10-year-old fifth wheel, this to me is fabulous because it's teaching you how to basically get another. I'd say what he's doing here is probably going to add another 5 to 7 years on the life of the fifth wheel. You know, especially if you're buying something that's 8, 10 years old. So I'm with it, but I am so confused still about this Grand Design thing.
But overall, I think this is going to help out and think that it probably should have been this way from the get-go.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, real talk.
No shit.
Let's boil this down because I think there's some key takeaways and some conclusions that or opinions that I can draw from this. Because I'm almost thinking that was a bit of phase 1. I actually might like to open up this underbelly and see if there's something else that might be lacking that I need to bring up to snuff. And so the question is also on those 5
Okay, but here's my question to you. Why would you have to do it? That's really like, this is where optics come into play. If you're someone that's out, here's the difference. So, and again, stop me if I'm wrong. If you're a guy that's looking at a 2013 Arctic Fox and you want to strengthen the chassis and strengthen all that, this is a great video. Okay, I think his DIY thing here is pretty cool. But if you're someone that owns a new or newer fifth wheel, why do you have to go and fix the frame problem the manufacturer caused? Right? That's my only thing. Like, brother, why do you have to, obviously if you bought it new, which it looks like you did, why do you have to tear out the underbelly part and fix the frame? Shouldn't the frame have been built correctly at the beginning per Grand Design's request? Just saying. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm out of bounds. Maybe I'm throwing out some bullshit. Who knows? But you know,
lag bolts that we had here. Do the RV engineers at Grand Design say that 2 is adequate in their calculations? But for me, when it wasn't holding properly, and there's 5 holes
yeah,
there,
if you got
I would
2,
like to put in the lags.
Yeah, so if you got, how is 2 proper for your calculations? That doesn't make any sense. People are going to walk up there, put clothes. Your bathroom is going to, have people stepping in the shower and sitting on the toilet. You're going to get up and down out of the bed to go to the bathroom. How is 2 good for calculations? I'd love to know how they came up with that. That just to me sounds ridiculous.
Those 5 holes. And is it from Lippert? Is that the recommendation to put 5 in there? Or is that just kind of the standard that they put there and then it's up to Grand Design to meet their calculations?
Great question.
Those questions that I do have. But
Great question.
And I'm not trying to say I have an entirely huge...
Great question. Absolutely fabulous question.
problem here. I'm not even losing the seal on this, and I think that really cheesy plate that I put under there and now replaced with something a little bit more substantial, I think did make a difference. It allowed the wall to stay close to the chassis and those lags to stay somewhat in place, even though they didn't have a bite into that wood, but allowed it to carry the structure the way that it needed to, so where I don't think we caused any other damage. Now, something that I should have said here is that Grand Design is one of the only companies that came out and released a statement about FrameFlex. It gave you like a frequently asked questions, things to look for, and a way to contact them if you were...
Hold on. This guy's definitely pro Grand Design. This guy definitely loves Grand Design. First off, brother, did you go and read the FAQ? The FAQ that Grand Design released was written by a bunch of attorneys, as in cover your ass. That is not an admittance to a problem. That is not a solution to a problem. If you go read it, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to link if this is the first time you didn't see my episode on this, because I actually did an episode on Grand Design's FAQ, okay? I'll link it in the description box of this video, okay? But his that right there tells me this is a big, again, this is optics, right? This is how it looks. If you read the Grand Design FAQ, it is not helpful at all. It actually, more or less, if you actually read through the entire thing, it is basically deflecting any blame away from Grand Design and either onto the frame manufacturer or onto the customer. So you are wrong about that, sir. They are that is not helpful.
Having issues with your frame, which I do appreciate that. I can still appreciate that and ask these questions. Why did I only have 2 bolts when there was room to have 5 bolts? There might be an answer to.
Okay, now I get it. This isn't a puff piece for Grand Design. He truly doesn't want to take a side. Okay, so I get it now. Okay. This guy doesn't want to pick a side. He's trying to appease everybody. I understand now. Okay, let's keep going.
That, but I think they were missing.
But he's wrong about the
there
FAQ.
Are things that we can do as RV owners, because on the other side, looking for a balanced approach here, there are things that as RV owners we can do to cause these scenarios to happen to the RV. So let's get back to that. And that makes me think of some of the things that we can do as RV owners that kind of take responsibility for some of these failures that are out there. I'm not saying all, but I'm saying some that are out there. Number one, if we don't kind of pay attention to our RV, we let something that might seem somewhat small or insignificant, a loose lag bolt, you may not think much of it, but it can lead to a much larger consequence. I mean, it goes...
Okay, wait. First off, that shouldn't be the RVer's responsibility, okay? What should happen, so I'll give you an example. Great example. Ford Motor Company puts out an F-150. They have an owner's manual, and in the owner's manual, it tells you all the regular maintenance. I have read a ton of every manufacturer's booklets on maintenance, and not one time does it tell you to go check your lag bolts. It talks about axles, it talks about brakes, talks about electrical, talks about winterization, but the super majority of all fifth wheel brands do not tell you to check your lag bolts. They tell you to check your roof. They tell you to check for different things. So how is it the RVer's responsibility to pay attention to lag bolts?
Across everything on the RV. If you leave a small hole in the roof, you're going to get water penetration and you're going to have...
That's not the same thing.
So
hold on. That's not the same thing. You go into an owner's manual and they tell you have to have your roof inspected. Sometimes it's every year. Sometimes it's every 6 months. So it's easy so if someone has a problem with their roof and they didn't check it for 5 years, okay, it's in the owner's manual. But there's nothing about frame flex or frame problems inside most of the manuals. So how are you supposed to do that?
Number one, paying attention. Number two, I think there's a lot more RVs out there that are overweight than people kind of realize. And I did a video on this to try and make this as easy as I possibly can, because it can be intimidating to go and weigh your RV. But if you've never weighed it, you don't know if you're over, under, or what you can put on or how it's balanced. And we weigh our RV often. My family's a little bit annoyed by it, how often I do like to weigh, but it's something that I want to know, and I want to know how things are distributed throughout the RV. The other big item is...
Okay, wait. Let me stop him right here, okay? So, when we're talking about weight, okay, I'm going to disagree with him. I'm not going to attack him for it, but I'm going to disagree. I like the fact that he weighs his fifth wheel. But first off, where the tanks are mostly located, all your holding tanks are usually back of where the front superstructure is, okay? The majority of your fuel, your water on toy haulers, and your toy is all in the back, okay? So, you know, I'm going to agree to a certain point that you should go weigh your fifth wheel dry. Because there's rumors out there, again, there's allegations and speculation that Grand Design Solitude and Grand Design Momentum weight stickers are not accurate. So I got an email from probably now a dozen people that own a Solitude that say their Solitude completely bone dry empty, just manufacturer specs, when they went to weigh it, is 300 pounds more than what the sticker says. So I agree about that. But it's unless it's a toy hauler, it's really hard to overload a fifth wheel. Okay? I live in a Keystone Cougar. My kids, my wife, all have a bunch of stuff inside the Keystone Cougar, and I've never had any kind of frame problems at all. I've had other issues, microwave going out and, valves getting stuck and, all kinds of stuff like that. I've had problems just like every other RVer does, but I'm gonna disagree with him that these first two things are not on the RVer.
Modifications to the RV. When you start changing the pin box or different structural elements on the RV, those can lead to possible failures in the realm of frame flex or even other...
Okay, again, I'm going to disagree. It's already been proven. This was released 2 days ago. It has already been proven that the air ride airbag pin box and the Gen Y, if I remember right, it's called Gen Y pin boxes, do not cause or hinder the frame from having problems. So again, another disagreement. Now, where I will agree with him on that is when you do the gooseneck adapter. The gooseneck adapter has been proven to hurt the integrity of your fifth wheel's structure. Okay, in fact, for a lot of you guys that don't know, if you adapt your pin box to be a gooseneck, your Lippert warranty is void. Your frame warranty through Arctic Fox, void. Every one of the frame companies will void your warranty on a fifth wheel if you adapt to a gooseneck. But if you're improving the pin box by putting airbags in the truck, if you're putting a better pin box that leads to less structural issues, then there's not a problem. So here's the thing. Again, he needs to do his research a little bit better, because Brinkley already released a week ago saying that they have found that the Gen Y pin box does not affect frame failure or frame flex. That the more ride and the Rhino and the Lippard airbox or airbag pin box does not cause problems with frame flex or frame failure. So this is, again, you guys can shoot me later. I'm not trying to talk shit about him, but he's fucking wrong about that.
Frame issues. So making sure that the modification that you're doing is within the structural parameters of what that RV is intended to be used for. So you can check back with your RV manufacturer to see if you wanted to switch out something in the pin box to see what is approved for their systems. Now, those are some big things that we can do as RV owners and kind of take responsibility for.
Okay, so again, those things he listed are outside of, I would obviously weigh the fifth wheel on an independent scale dry to know what your real weight is from the manufacturer, since the manufacturer stickers are allegedly wrong. So see, this is the problem with a guy like this that has not, and I'm assuming, because remember, I don't know the guy, but I'm assuming he's never worked for a service side of a dealership. He's never worked in sales. He's never built one of these. So, you know, that's why I'm giving him a pass. I didn't when I originally did this. I'm going to tell you guys right now. When I first did this video, I went ballistic. I started drinking because I'm glad I did this calmer and sober, because to me, the optics are really, really bad. But I'm starting to understand that he doesn't want to take a side. He wants to try to tell you you're responsible, but the factory's responsible. If he did his homework a little bit deeper, rather than believing everything JD said from Big Truck Big RV, I think this would be a better video.
But on the RV manufacturer side, I
actually like his editing style
for the RV industry to have a better product that's being put out there. Now, I called some of these RV manufacturers, and I was surprised by some of the responses. Some of the responses were almost a denial of what's happening. Not understanding what FrameFlex is, or even really understanding the question. Some of them were in complete opposition, that any of the RV FrameFlex situations you see out there are either RV owner caused or some kind of a modification that caused that on the RV. So,
whoa, hold on. Who the fuck are you talking to? That is a complete fucking lie. That's a lie. I could tell you exactly why that's a lie. Because I've talked to the RV manufacturers. Because I have contacts and they all know. Arctic Fox knows. DRV, which is Mobile Suites. Redwood, they know. Forest River is really aware. Cedar Creek, Riverstone, Sabre, Columbus, they all know about it. Okay? In fact, some of the warranty guys on the Keystone, Jayco, Forest Riverside have reached out to me and said, great videos, great coverage on it. So, who are you talking to? Are you talking to KZ? Is this directed towards Grand Design? This could be, now here's the thing, this could be a silent shot at Grand Design, because Grand Design's FAQ does put it on the customer and has a lot of denial about it being a manufacturer problem, allegedly. So that could be a shot at Grand Design, but the way that sounded, it's like, dude, I talked to the manufacturers. Trust me, they know how pissed off I am if they didn't know. And the people I talk to at the big corporation levels all know of its existence. Okay? And let me tell you something too. Enjoy the life or enjoy the journey.life, Tom, and had a Columbus fifth wheel that had a frame failure problem in 2017. So obviously Forest River is very aware of the problem. Keystone, Montana, I've talked to 3 different people that are having their rig either fixed or bought back by Keystone. So Keystone is well aware of the situation. So who are you talking to? That's
Either
what
way,
I want to
push it
know.
Back to the RV owner. I think the one response that I was most impressed with was Brinkley. They were fully aware of what Frank.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Now let's really talk about optics. Well, I bought a Grand Design reflection, and I'm putting everything saying some maybe half factual stuff. But then I'm going to say that Brinkley was the man and told us all about that. They're aware of FrameFlex. Happens to be the guys that started Grand Design. Are you seeing the optics here? And again, I'm going to leave this up to your interpretation, okay? This is up to you guys whether you are going to run with this or not.
Is what people are saying out there and how they're doing things differently to be able to attach their sidewalls.
Real quick, one thing I will say though, in their defense, is they're the ones that have come out with more information about pin boxes and frame failure than anyone else. So I am very appreciative of that.
To try and mitigate any of the
Talk about
problems
Brinkley.
that FrameFlex show up in other RV manufacturers and trying to hold things to a higher standard. So that was their position.
Oh, by the way, we know what his next unit's going to be already, right?
Nice to see that they at least acknowledged it, and we want to move forward and not have that. Better to build it right than have to come back and fix it later. Now, I went from the 2 lags to the 5 lags on this wall, but I'm just wondering, is there something we can do that's better than lags? You can see that they don't have a whole lot to bite into, and yes, this does work on the majority of RVs that are out there and on the road. But can we step back and take a look at it and see if there's something more that we can do, a better attachment that's going to be a little bit more solid and a little more foolproof? I think that's 100% worth exploring. Number 2, I think we should have some bolt plates that are on there. Yes, I put that bolt plate that was over here, but I also think that we could put some underneath here and tie the structure together in a way that we're not just hoping that a lag bolt holds on to a very thin piece of wood. So that's a combination of the RV manufacturer and Lippert getting together to see if they can come up with a better solution moving forward. Now, another improvement I would like to see, or a compelling reason why you wouldn't switch to it, is the Space Saver upper deck area, because it's supposed to be 20-30% stronger and give you a little bit more space up in that area. I know it's easier to kind of stay in the rut and kind of do the thing that you are comfortable doing because you've already done it in the past, but if there's something that is stronger, especially in this area that's coming under some kind of question or scrutiny, why not move to it if it's a stronger product? So that's definitely a question that I have. Another thing that
okay. So again, goes from really bad optics to something that's really smart. Okay. So in this respect, you know, what I'd love to do is get this guy in front of the 5 people I know that engineer this stuff and know how this all works, and he'll have an understanding why. So let me give you why they haven't gone to anything else, most of the other manufacturers, besides what they have engineered structurally to Lippert or whoever their frame company is, okay? It's because the engineering process is very slow when it comes to changes. In the RV world, unless there is an absolute nightmare of a problem, and I'm talking about, like, I'll give you an example. If Keystone or Forest River, Coachman, Jayco, Heartland, Outdoors RV, Arctic Fox, which is Northwood Manufacturing, if any of them had a major Armageddon level issue, the way Grand Design is allegedly having, they would completely stop the assembly line. And they would go back and go, wait a minute, what's going on? And they would start completely from where did we go wrong in the engineering, and they would get with Lippert or whoever the frame company is and make changes engineering wise to strengthen it. Okay, now the problem is, here's the biggest problem, guys, that you're going to run into when I'm talking about this, is we're not talking about if let's use Josh the RV Nerd's number of less than 0.5% of these are having a problem, okay? Let's say they build 500,000 fifth wheels, Keystone Montanas, 500,000 Keystone Montanas, and 10 have this problem, or let's say 100 have this problem out of 500,000 built, they're not going to change anything. Okay? They're not going to do anything major unless they find it specifically with a certain floor plan. Okay? Now, if it was 500,000 built and 20,000 of them were having a problem, that's when they go raise their hand and go, okay, we got a problem. Okay, so just like with car manufacturers work a lot of the same way. So this is an education for you, sir. Okay, so a car manufacturer does not stop the assembly line unless it's affecting a high percentage of Armageddon lemon law problems. Okay, now here's the issue I have with all this. Okay, and I'm going to stop it right here because I could tell it's about to end. So let me conclude with a couple of thoughts. Okay, first of all, overall, I like this guy as a YouTuber. To me, I like his delivery, I like his tone, I like his editing style, I like his hook. Things I don't like. The optics he gave in this video are really bad. Like, if you are a Grand Design, Solitude, or Momentum owner, it feels like he is making this out to be nothing. And the way this was presented, it's if you are a newer RV owner, we're not talking about, so there's two different types of people I'm looking at right now. Now, let's go with the positive part because I've been bashing this guy long enough. So the positive part is if you're a customer who's buying a 10, 12, 15-year-old fifth wheel, whether it's a Reflection or a Montana or a Jayco Eagle or Cedar Creek, etc. This guy's video is very educational on what you can do to strengthen the bond and try to prevent a lot of that. Because I can understand it. When you have 15 years of roadworthiness, no matter how many miles you go, it's still an earthquake on wheels, okay? But if you own a 2021, 22, 23, a 2020, 2021, 22, 23, and you've got $150,000, $200,000 invested into your Grand Design Solitude or Jayco Pinnacle or whatever it may be, this guy's delivery and optics is as if, well, it's your problem. You're the one who did it. And let me show you how you the customer, are supposed to do this so that way it could be prevented in the future. Right? So, yeah.
Question, are the welds on the Lippert frame?
Okay, we don't need to go through all that. So the reality is that, you know, to me, we have a big problem in the industry. If you look, ever since I started talking about this on the podcast, ever since I brought this up on the main channel, you have seen back to back to back to back to back videos defending in one way or one form or not, defending Grand Design or deflecting any blame off Grand Design or minimizing their exposure. Okay, so far I've now counted 9 people in the last 3 weeks that have been bought off by Grand Design to remove their videos, remove their channel. Hey man, do what you gotta do for your family. I understand, but your integrity is zero with me. If you went through that whole process and you talk crap to me about how you'll never do it again, or you're shopping for another brand, or we're going to come see you, you know, any of that stuff, I know you're not going to drive 2,000 miles to come see me. That's not a big deal. But to say all that and go back to Grand Design products, to me, you lost all your integrity in my eyes. Okay, but do what you got to do. I understand. You know, a lot of money at stake. A lot of people's livelihoods are at stake. I understand. But here's the problem. Nobody is taking responsibility. This is the biggest thing. Nobody is taking responsibility, and everybody's using guys like this to keep not having. Look at this, 246,000 subscribers. Okay, you got JD with over 500,000. I mean, this is bad. These guys, and then you got then on the other side you got the extreme of the other side, which is Liz, amazing. And this guy talks about balance. There's no balance in this. This would have been a better video if you actually got somebody's frame torn apart and looked at it, not yours. Because this looks bad. This looks like it. What it looks like to me, and this is my final thought. It looks like to me that Grand Design paid you, or someone paid you to do this video. That's what it looks like. I don't think that's necessarily true, but again, wrong guy, wrong video. Another puff piece. So I'll leave it up to you guys what you guys think. This is just my reactions. And until next time, guys, toolkit and sense of humor.